Hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to another edition of This Week in Karting, episode number 11. My name's Rob Howden, joined as always by David Cole, as this particular edition of This Week in Karting brings you all the information that has worked its way to the EKN homepage over the last couple of weeks. This podcast, of course, perfect for listening on the way to work, on the way home, whatever it may be. If you're out in the garage getting prepped up for the next race, perfect just to fire this up and kind of get yourself up to speed with everything that's going on. This edition of This Week in Karting brought to you by Briggs & Stratton. Briggs & Stratton is powering Operation Grassroots around the world. No other engine manufacturer is getting new and returning drivers to the kart track like the Briggs 206. The out-of-the-box performance provides the most fun, excitement, and reliability of any karting engine on the global market. Learn more about the 206 engine and the history behind Briggs & Stratton's century-long commitment to motorsports at www.briggsracing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? All right, David Cole, I know we get kind of busy. We're on the road so much. We call it This Week in Karting, but it could almost be This Month in Karting because the last one we did was May the 30th, over a month ago.
It's becoming a trend, Rob. It's not
a normal thing. I don't want to change the name.
We're not going to change the name. It's going to stay This Week in Karting. It's just a long week.
It's a long week, yeah. So there are some weeks that feel very long. Again, the last episode, episode 10, from May the 30th. But of course, we were rocking a little bit after that. So Dave was on the road for a couple of races. I was at home getting work done. So we'll see if we can't do it a little more often. But to be honest, This Week in Karting works because usually 2 weeks of information kind of jams in enough to kind of let you guys have some really cool stuff as we get rolling here. So again, David, let's get started, man. What's the first bit of news you want to rock out here?
Well, it's Superkarts USA related as they came out with a couple of announcements pertaining to the upcoming SummerNationals and looking already ahead to 2020. The SummerNationals new layout has been confirmed by Superkarts USA for the SummerNationals, which will take place in August. And what they're calling it the SCUSA Super Mile configuration, which is roughly about 0.95 miles long. What the unique aspect of it is, it's actually using the oval section on the east end of the facility. It's been there. We've known it's been there. We've been using it as the pit exit for a number of years when we go there for the SummerNationals and other programs that go there as well. But now it is going to be used as part of the race course.
What do you think about it? I think it's pretty interesting. I like the fact that because you have that track has so many configurations, but it seems like that we've been running the same track for the last number of years. I like shaking it up. If they're able to keep it so you can't do a lot of testing on it, I think it'll be cool because it's gonna take a little bit of the the local knowledge that advantage away, right?
I don't think there's any local knowledge there anymore. I think because we've been there for so long that everybody knows the layout. True. So it's been there for 14 years now. There's no surprise when you go to Newcastle. Basically what you're doing there is you're adjusting around the weather conditions and what the track is giving you. That's what a lot of people are tuning to. They're not really tuning to the actual track itself.
You're not wrong.
And again, talking to people, myself, I don't like it because one, it takes away the view of being able to see the entire race. We can't see it now. No matter where you are standing, you are going to miss half of the race. Now, mind you, part of the oval section is probably not going to be as exciting, but still, you're not going to be able to see. You're not, and that's the one thing that karting has, especially in sprint racing, and it's something that we weren't able. That the Charlotte race that we just had with WKA, if you were on pit road, you couldn't see the entire track, and it's something I think that sprint racers are not exactly used to, and so I think it's. That's part of the negativity about the event or about the layout. I think you're right. Yeah, it's something different. But as you said, there are 50 different multiple configurations that we could use. Why use this one? That's my question to it.
Well, you did say you played the one card, and that's just visibility and being able to watch all the racing. Now, you didn't mention yet the fact that I think they're going to be running it with the SCUSA Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge event which is the week before. So there will be an opportunity for people to get on it if they run that Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge race. And we'll see. Hopefully it's raceable. Like, hopefully people are going to like it and it's exciting, but at the very least, they're trying something different, right?
The one section that I think is going to be exciting is basically the Laguna section, which is when you come off of the oval section, and in between that and the main racetrack, there's a basically Laguna Seca corkscrew that is very unique and interesting. And drivers have gone up it, but they haven't raced down it, other than guys who race at Newcastle as a club race because they used this configuration before. And actually, the SCUSA Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge used this layout in their first event back in, I believe, was April.
Oh, they did use this one. I didn't know that.
They used it, but they also included the cell tower section. So SCUSA for the Summer Nats, and then obviously for the finale for Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge, they're not using the cell tower section.
Copy.
So that's the difference between the race that they had in April and the race that there are two races that they're going to be having in August.
Nice.
So that's the difference between the two.
Okay. All right. Well, David also mentioned, of course, that SCUSA published its 2020 dates, which they are the first group to get out there and drop the dates down. The SCUSA Winter Series back again, January 10th, 11th, and 12th, and February 7th, 8th, and 9th. No locations announced at this point. Same goes with all the other programs as well, other than the Supernats. Pro Tour will kick off with the Winter Nationals on March 13th, 14th, and 15th, somewhere in the eastern United States. Spring Nationals, again, the first week of May, as it has been for the last couple of years. Summer Nats moving to August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Again, being told at Newcastle Motorsports Park. As always, the Super Nationals, which is this edition number 24 this year or 20? This is 23 this year, isn't it, Dave?
It's 23 this year, and then 24
in 2020. Man, I can't believe it. November 17th to the 22nd, always the weekend before Thanksgiving, of course, in Las Vegas. And the California Pro Kart Challenge events for 2020 laid out at March the 1st, April 5th, June 14th, July 12th, and September 27th. Is this the earliest, Dave? You think SCUSA's had their dates out?
I think this is among the earliest times that we have had the dates published. Again, these are all dates that could possibly change. We've seen it happen before with a number of different programs, but they wanted to be the first to get it out there, and they've done that. And I think this allows the opportunity for all the other programs to make sure they work around it.
Start setting it up. Yeah.
I really would have liked to have seen the Winter Series go down to one event and almost be like the America's Winter Cup, have like a big bash in the winter time. I really think the 2 weekends in the 2 first months of the year kind of congest the schedule a little bit more, but we'll see how it unfolds in 2020. But I think the rest of the schedule is pretty good. It's good to see the Winter Nats coming back east. So that throws, what's going to happen with Spring Nats. Is it going to be out west? And then, of course, Summer Nats being at Newcastle. So what Eastern racetrack is going to have the Winter Nationals? That's a good question.
Very true. But as David had said, now with these dates out, people can start, other organizations can start slotting in where they want to be. Again, we do have some date equity going on lately, which is kind of cool. So you got to expect most of the events that you're going to be looking at will be locked pretty much into the same kind of vicinity in terms of month-wise. All right, folks, This Week in Karting, episode number 11. We are underway. We've hit our first break. It's July the 2nd right now. We're looking forward to heading to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this coming weekend. But again, This Week in Karting, more to come after these messages. The shift is on to a new brand and a new way of thinking. Mad Old Nut Racing and Croc Promotion USA are focused on changing the paradigm when it comes to race teams in this sport. And the goal is to support dedicated young racers by giving them the tools and opportunities to succeed. Originally born as Mad Croc, the new branding is Croc Promotion, and Armando Fellini's product continues its dedication to quality and innovation. Croc Promotion USA is the American importer and distributor, and Mad Old Nut Racing is the official race team. We're ready to attack in 2019, and our race results speak for themselves. AJ Myers swept the first 4 Winter Series shifter kart races of the year, and Andrew Bedozzo continues to assert himself as an emerging player. Croc Promotion has momentum. Dedicated and talented young drivers, supported and mentored by team owners who know business and who are passionate about karting. That's Croc Promotion USA. That's Mad Old Nut Racing. Search for us on social media and give us a follow. Hey racers, this is Rob Howden, and I'm super excited to be back with the Texas Pro Kart Challenge family this year. Gina and Mark French put together a perfect 3-weekend series after listening to the racers, and with the season opener in Denton behind us, it's time to head to the incredible track in Amarillo in July. Then, we'll cap it all off again at the jewel of Houston karting, Speed Sports Racing Park, in mid-September. Get the final 2 Texas PKC dates on your personal calendar, and I'll see you there. We're back racing on July 19th, 2021 at the Amarillo Kart Circuit. This track is a scale version of the F1 circuit in Istanbul, Turkey, and the drivers love it. It's certainly a venue to add to your bucket list. It's 2 full days of racing for Mini and Micro Swift, Briggs 206 Senior and Masters, KA100 Junior and Senior, X30 Junior, Senior and Master, Stock Honda Senior and Master, and Pro Shifter. They're also adding a local option class for Briggs 206 Junior. Stay tuned for more exciting news. Come join the Frenches and I in West Texas in July. We're going to be racing, grilling, and enjoying the awesome Texas Pro Kart Challenge community.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
Welcome back to episode number 11 of This Week in Karting. Rob Howden and David Cole bringing you all the information that has worked its way to the homepage on ekartingnews.com over the last couple of weeks. David, we got things started off with some Superkarts USA action, talking about the layout for the SummerNats, talking about their 2020 dates. Let's jump into a couple of different programs. We've got information regarding Rotex. We got some Rock Cup. We're going to talk a little bit about the PRI show as well. Let's start off. Give us some of the information that hit EKN about the Rotex Stars and Stripes Open.
The Open event is going to be coming up here at Pittsburgh International Race Complex, beginning of August, the August 2, 3, and 4 weekend. They have sent out a number of releases over the last couple of weeks, kind of just keeping people informed as to what's going on. I think one of the bigger news items was the entry deadline. They've set for July 15th, which will be coming up basically in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
That's kind of to help confirm all the engine packages that they'll have available, because again, it's a raffle engine program to where you enter, and part of your entry money goes towards a engine raffle. So you're provided the Rotax engine when you arrive, and you race with that engine all weekend long. So they're capping off all the categories for the event, which has seen well over 100 entries previously that we saw at New Jersey Motorsports Park the last couple of years, because we've seen a lot of Canadians come down. We've had a lot of international drivers race as well too. So it's really not just the Grand Nationals, but more of an international type event. Senior, Junior, Masters, Micro, and Mini are set at 34, with DD2 set at 30. The Mini and Micro is another area that they've kind of focused on, making sure people understand the classification of what's going on. Essentially, these two classes are going to be in a mixed group of drivers, separated again by age, but both classes will be utilizing the Mini Max regulations and engine package as they did in 2018. So depending on your age, you'll choose your classification of either Micro or Mini, and both categories will be racing for grand finals tickets, with first and second place each earning a ticket. So basically 4 tickets up for grabs in that one race group. And then third place finishers receiving a $1,000 voucher for Rotax products. And again, the Micro categories 8 through 11 age wise, and then the mini is 11 and 13. So, there's some kids that are 10 and 11 right now racing junior that could technically race the micro division.
Wow, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Well,
That's
Brent Cruz is the defending world champion in micro, and he's been racing junior.
Yeah, this is it, right? Exactly. I give props to the guys from J3 Competition. They're doing a great job trying to reestablish the Rotax brand here in North America, or not so much North America, but in the northern states of the U.S. And again, if we all look back, the Rotax program was unbelievably strong here in the U.S. for many, many years. Obviously, some hiccups with some decisions made by those running the program, both in Europe and here. But J3 Competition and the crew there are focused on rebuilding this thing kind of from the grassroots level up, which I think is a wise move considering how kind of muddled the engine programs, engine platforms are nationally and even regionally here in the U.S. right now. But again, the Stars and Stripes open that event, as David said, Pittsburgh International Race Complex, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The entry deadline, July the 15th, less than 2 weeks away. I'm actually heading. I made an announcement. I just threw something up on social media yesterday that had a little text conversation with Alan Rudolph about potentially running with him at the Texas Pro Kart Challenge race at Amarillo. So I'm going to be jumping behind the wheel of a Speed Sports Racing Park, Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, Burrell for that event in 206 Masters. And it's been interesting because the Texas Pro Kart Challenge guys, Mark and Gina French, they found this racetrack in Amarillo that was built. Dr. Morgan built this thing. It's the copy of the Formula One track in Istanbul, Turkey. Badass layout. Everybody loves it. And I know that Thane was looking for another race. He wanted to have another race. And now he's got one. The second Rock Cup USA Festival has been announced for the Amarillo Kart Circuit. The original date, David, was going to be Labor Day weekend. I think a lot of feedback was, hey, listen, you're not going to get a lot of guys because we're going to Rock Island. Stay off the Rock Island dates. I know a bunch of guys from Texas are planning to go to Rock Island. There's probably going to be some pretty good numbers and shifters there this year. So the folks at Rock Cup USA moving it back to August 22nd to 25th. Always great to see, adjustments made based on input from teams and racers, right?
It is to hear that, and that's what you need in order for some programs to be successful. You got to be able to work with one another and at least know what the local contingent really wants to do. You can't just slap a date on an event and then not realize that, all the local racers are going to be at this place and at this place, and they're not going to be there. So yeah, it was good that they were able to take in the feedback and criticism and be able to, and thankfully with a facility like this where there's no racing going on, you can change the date to pretty much anything.
Well, moving on to the next little bit here as well, David, we got a really good partnership going with the good folks at the Performance Racing Industry Trade Show. You don't go that far back into the history when we used to have a karting event there, the All-Star Karting Classic. That was a lot of fun. I would love to be able to get that back someday. But considering the fact that
I was going to say, I think it's been 10 years, Rob. So it's been a while since we've had that.
That's just true. I'm getting old. But I'd love to have that back, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that in the middle of December in Indianapolis. We did that race when we were in Orlando, which was a lot of fun. But Indianapolis, such kind of a hub, David, right, for motorsports with the speedway and everything that goes on around there. But information hitting our website, of course, we do have a good partnership with PRI, and they're expanding for 2019. David, talk a little bit about what's going on with PRI. They're rocking. They got a lot of good stuff going on with PRI show.
Well, I think as you remember back when PRI was in Indianapolis, it used to be the RCA Dome that was just outside of the convention center, and they actually used the RCA Dome to feature some exhibits and other items and products that were available during the show. Well, now for the first time ever, they're actually going to move into what is now Lucas Oil Stadium, which is home of the Indianapolis Colts, to feature exhibits and different products inside and right on the field in Lucas Oil Stadium. So trailer display is key. I believe it's been outside before in previous years. And, as you said, December in Indianapolis is not exactly the best weather to be outside. So they're moving the trailer display inside Lucas Oil Stadium, along with their new featured products showcase that has been gaining some momentum over the past couple of years with the PRI trade show. So that's moving over into the Lucas Oil Stadium as well, too. They just announced and released their 2019 floor plan. So anybody who's interested in going to the event can already start setting up their location schedule on the app. They have a lot of different features where you can highlight the different exhibitors that you want to visit, or set times and schedules and all that different things on their app. This year, over 100 or 1,100 exhibitors and unique attractions are going to be on display in December 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yeah, I went for one day last year. That was not enough.
No, it's never enough.
I was running around trying to talk to our EK and advertising partners, right? I had sat down and talked with Jay Braxton from Stilo USA, with Debbie Bishop from Simpson, chatting. Of course, went and saw the guys at Bell Racing. Of course, spent some time with David Klaus at Briggs & Stratton. Keith Freeber was there as well, with their new Ignite chassis with the Briggs on it. You know, they had just announced their partnership with Hoosier at that point, so I talked to the guys at Hoosier a bit.
Streeter Super Stands.
2 days. Streeter, yeah. The whole crew from Streeter there, Jeff Wessel and everybody with all their trailer accessories. You know, David, the PRI show, at one point we had a lot of karting companies there, and then I think some of them decided not to go. It really is an incredible opportunity to kind of present karting to I say like they're pre-qualified, right? Because they're everybody there is a racing fan. And whatever they're racing, if they're just fans, whatever it may be, they're in the industry. They're supposed to be in the industry. But we get a chance to show karting off. And, you know, big props again to Briggs & Stratton, always being there with their whole lineup of stuff. Dave Klaus is always there with his whole crew. And that's important, man. I think this is an opportunity for us to present karting in a positive way.
It's really the only show that we have in North America that provides that opportunity to put it in front of thousands and thousands of people who are not only, as you said, within the racing industry or just fans of racing, period, who don't know anything about getting into motorsports. Because as you said, they do have a little bit of, you know, of people who are just fans of motorsports that, you know, buy their way in or somehow are connected with a company that is exhibiting there, you know, and really some people that are in the show may not know anything about karting. And so it's a great opportunity to, as you said, educate exhibitors and attendees about the sport of karting.
Yeah, because you think about the people that are there. It's super late model racers, it's dirt late model racers, sprint car guys, drag guys. All these people that are in the sport already get an opportunity to see what karting's all about, potentially get their kids in it, which again starts feeding us. So just like you said, the only real motorsports trade show that we have now, we don't have really a massive karting show other than the winter show in Springfield. So that's, again, if you're a company looking to expand your brand, think about going to the PRI trade show in Indianapolis. All right, Dave, let's take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about Burrell. You're going to talk a little bit about the WK and their new association with Summit Racing Equipment. And we'll talk a little bit about the Cup Karts North America program as well. More to come. Episode number 11 of This Week in Karting. Attention karters of the Midwest. Superkarts USA is back, and the return season has been fun and exciting, with the new SCUSA Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge racing at Newcastle, Norway, and Road America. The series now heads into the season finale at Newcastle Motorsports Park on the August 3rd, 4th weekend, just 1 week ahead of the SCUSA Pro Tour SummerNationals. This is your chance to prepare for the Summer Nats on the new SCUSA Super Mile configuration, which will be run at the Pro Tour finale. The paddock will be packed and the grids will be large, so come out and enjoy SCUSA's newest regional program. You'll get a chance to meet our staff, and we hope you'll put the full series on your racing schedule for 2020. Follow Superkarts USA's newest regional program on Facebook at SCUSA Great Lakes PKC and on Instagram at SCUSA Great Lakes. Rotax is officially back in America. and J3 Competition is the iconic brand's new importer and distributor for the northern half of the United States. With a focus on top-notch customer service and unparalleled product support, J3 Competition is excited to work with club and regional series to build the Rotax community in the tag categories. They're promoting a pair of special events this year to provide opportunities for their racers to win tickets to the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals in Italy, the sport's most talked about global event. The Stars and Stripes Trophy and the Stars and Stripes Open events will feature J3 Competition's trademark professionalism, as well as the popular engine raffle program to provide a completely level playing field. With tickets to this year's Grand Finals up for grabs, they look forward to seeing everyone at the trophy event in May in Utah and for the Open in August at Pit Race. Rotax is a leader in two-cycle technology, and J3 Competition brings over 75 years of experience to the brand here in the United States. Check out the new Rotax USA program at racerotax.com.
History, success, family. Those are the three words that describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation is located just outside of Indianapolis, and they have provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers throughout their near 6 decades of business. Comet's online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. Comet Kart Sales attends dozens of karting events every year, offering trackside service for racers and families. Karting veterans Mark Dismore Jr. and Gary Lawson provide one-on-one driver coaching and tuning assistance for each trackside customer. The engine building business, Comet Racing Engines, has won countless major events and championships over decades of karting, and they continue to offer the best trackside service in the industry. Make sure you head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be a part of the Comet Kart Sales family today.
Welcome back to the This Week in Karting podcast here on the EKN Radio Network. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole as we bring you a lot of the information and news that made its way to the eKarting News homepage over the last couple of weeks. David, one of the longtime companies, of course, within the karting world here in North America is Burrell Art North America. And very cool to see that they've brought kind of a second generation guy on board with PSL.
It is. Raphael St. Charles will be joining Burrell Art North America. He will oversee the brand development of the Burrell Art, Ricardo Kart, and Freeline products. His attention will be at expanding the Burrell Art North America dealer network, and has also been named the rental kart division director. So Raphael, the son of PSL Karting's co-owner Stefan, is going to be a bit busy over the next few weeks, as he's obviously getting adjusted coming over back from Italy, where he worked at Formula Medicine, working with a number of different drivers in motorsports, people regarding health-wise and training. And so he's a very well-educated young man. Stefan's always talked very well about him, and he's very happy to have his son now as part of the company.
Yeah, great to see young blood coming in. Of course, Dominic Lebrec's been a major part of the sport for so many years. In fact, I think this year is it's either 20th or 25th year. So we got to talk more about that, because he's been that Burrell Art program, not so much Burrell Art, but PSL Karting has been around forever. So big props to PSL Karting, and again Burrell Art North America with Raphael St. Charles coming on board. David, you know a lot more than I do, of course, about the new program that the WKA put together with Summit Racing Equipment. I know that they were kind of front and center at the Charlotte Karting Challenge that you attended a couple of weeks ago. Fill me in on what's going on with Summit and WKA.
Yeah, it was for the recent Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge that we just were at last weekend. Summit Racing Equipment helped provide a number of contingency programs and obviously some swag going out to all of the racers who entered in both dirt, road race, and Manufacturers Cup. In that swag included a Summit book that provided an exclusive 10% discount on all products that are ordered through the Summit Racing Equipment book. As we know, Summit Racing Equipment is a big distributor and dealer for a lot of name brands in the world of motorsports and racing in general. And so again, it's another, as you said, with the PRI show, it's another company, that hasn't really understood or tapped into what karting can provide for a business. And so it was a great, they're continuing, WK was able to provide a great program with them. They had a couple representatives come down and walk around throughout the weekend at all three events, dirt, road race, and sprint, and kind of get a feel and understanding of what exactly is this karting world all about. So really cool to see. Another part of the program was $50 gift cards given away through social media contests. The WK and Summit were able to provide a little Facebook profile filter, I guess is what you call it. I'm not really cool on all those lingos with what you do on that. So it's kind of like those Snapchat and Instagram filters and covers or whatever you want to do with it. And so they provided some gift cards there. And again, it was more just for them to, kind of get a little bit involved in karting and see, what opportunities are there for them as a business and what they can provide for the sport in general.
Hey, anytime we can get a name, a major name in motorsports like Summit Racing to kind of come in and have a look at karting, as you said, to potentially look at tapping in on the sport and just kind of expanding their level of engagement, I think that's a huge thing. Kudos to the WKA for getting that put together.
Well, you look at their social media numbers. I mean, they have, I think it was 2 million Facebook followers that, they were able to expose to the sport of karting through just the little posts that they did on that weekend. It's it's not a lot of content they put out, but they have a lot of followers. So that's very key in what our sport really needs to progress towards, is getting these companies outside our own sport and be able to reach not only just through social media, but the opportunities that are there for people to be part of our sport.
I like it, Dave. That's a great point to bring up, the fact that they do have that engagement, that reach on social media, being such a massive company as Summit Racing Equipment. Let's cap off this particular segment of This Week in Karting, David. Some more information coming up on the Cup Karts North America series. You and I are actually looking forward to getting with them at their Grand National the first week of October at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Really excited about that event. But yet again, another amazing step forward for Briggs and Stratton. They're always stepping up to kind of help out, get entries, whether it's at Rock Island, providing a second entry if you're in another class. They're doing some more stuff, David, with a youth sponsorship for Cup Karts North America. What a great deal from Briggs.
Yeah, Briggs is offering a $50 sponsorship to Kid Kart and Sportsman drivers at the Cup Karts North America upcoming event at Wolf Paving Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman, Wisconsin. The event is scheduled for July 12th, 13th, and 14th. And I just saw they just extended the registration deadline through this week because they know a lot of people are busy racing now in the summer months. So head over to cupkarts.com and be able to take a part of that $50 youth sponsorship.
Yeah, let's give a little props out to Greg Jasperson and the whole crew over there at Cup Karts North America. They had a couple of different series last year, brought them in together. Fantastic schedule of events and really some good numbers in the 206 categories, which is what they focus on, obviously. But just good numbers coming out of the box with their spring nationals and just continue that momentum, David. Just it's so solid to have a strong regional series like they're presenting in the Midwest. We need to have those numbers. Numbers breed numbers, and man, they've got a lot of karts, a lot of drivers running in Cup Karts North America this year.
Yeah, we have that program and, a number of other programs that are really getting behind the Briggs 206 grassroots platform and getting people not only to race at the club level, but to travel a couple hours here or there for some of these regional programs, such as what Cup Karts North America provides.
Yeah, kudos to them. What a great deal. And again, we're all looking forward to that Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. They're expecting potentially over 200, potentially 250. I know a lot of Canadians I've been kind of speaking with, they're talking about coming down as well for that event. This will be the third running. Am I correct, David? Third running of the Cup Karts Grand Nationals?
It will be.
It will be the third running. David and I going head-to-head once again. Looking forward to going racing down there on the first weekend of October. But as David said, their next race at Wolf Paving Raceway, the home of the Badger Kart Club, July 12th, 13th, and 14th, just a couple of weeks away. All right, one more break. David and I are going to come back, chat a little bit about what's been going on in terms of EK and editorial. We'll talk about some of the podcasts we're putting together. More stuff coming on the EKN Radio Network, and then we'll do a little kind of EKN Trackside Live update so you know where we will be for the next couple of weeks, providing our live coverage from the track. Stay with us, folks. We're going to wrap things up here after this break. Are you in need of a podium-proven Briggs 206 chassis? If you answered yes, check out the 2019 Margay Ignite K3 and Brava 206 packages manufactured in St. Louis, Missouri, right here in the USA. The Margay chassis has been racking up 206 podiums on the club and regional level, most recently at big four-stroke programs such as the AMR Homestead Miami Speedway, Texas Pro Kart Challenge, Texas Sprint Racing Series, Atlanta Motorsports Park, the Quincy Grand Prix, and the Gateway Kartplex. The best part about purchasing a Margay racing chassis is that everything can be ordered custom, including frame color, decal color, and logo placement. Choose to purchase as a roller, kit, or race ready. With a race-ready package, just unbox the cart, add gas, oil, and go. Need factory support? Margay Racing is just a call or email away with technical support or setup tips. Interested in renting a kart at one of the biggest karting events this summer? Check out Margay Racing Spec Ignite class and their Arrive and Drive packages to be part of the 25th running of the Rock Island Grand Prix this coming Labor Day weekend. For more information, please visit margay.com or call 800-562-7429 today. For over 25 years, Superkarts USA has been changing the face of American karting. The debut of the SCUSA Pro Moto Tour in 1999 totally transformed national-level karting in the U.S., and now the current Pro Tour is enjoying its unprecedented 10th season of competition. The SCUSA Pro Tour is the longest-running coast-to-coast national series in the sport. Nothing else has come close in the last 30 years. The Pro Tour is exciting, hardcore racing, but the foundation of Superkarts USA is its regional programs, and we welcome all racers to come experience our style of events. Our flagship region is the California Pro Kart Challenge, a 6-weekend series that races from April to September from Fontana to Monterey. The Texas Pro Kart Challenge is in its 8th season and is in the middle of an exciting 6-race, 3-weekend schedule that takes drivers to Denton, Amarillo, and Houston. And new for 2019 is the return of the Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge, where SCUSA was born and raised. The series features 4 weekends at Newcastle, Norway, and Road America. We'd love to have you experience our product, and we hope to see you at a future Superkarts USA event. To learn more, head to superkartsusa.com. Attention all Midwest Briggs 206 racers. The new season is almost upon us, and it's time to go racing with Cup Karts North America. For 2019, we have rejoined both divisions, and the battle for the Champions Cup will be bigger and better than ever. Our limited Briggs 206 class structure means big fields and close racing from front to back. We've developed an exciting 5-race schedule that will take us to Concept Haulers Motor Speedway in Norway, Illinois, Michiana Raceway Park in New Liberty, Indiana, Wolf Paving Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, 61 Kartway in Del Mar, Iowa, and G&J Kartway in the legendary Camden, Ohio. And it all starts on May 4th and 5th with the Spring Nationals in Norway. Come join the fastest growing 4-cycle series in the United States. And remember, in early October, we're hosting the largest 206 race in the country, the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, where the best racers from all across North America come together to see who has what it takes to be named Grand Champion. Put it on your schedule. You're not going to want to miss this one. For more information, head to cupkarts.com. Welcome back to episode number 11 of This Week in Karting, July the 2nd, 2019, and away we go into the second half of this 2019 season. I don't know where the time has gone, but David, we obviously This Week in Karting, we present a lot of the information that we've either went out and dug up or have got press releases on, whatever it may be, but cranking out a ton of editorial. I know you've been busy on EKN.
We have been busy over the last month, not just the week, but the last month. And began, obviously with our trackside coverage. We were at the United States Pro Kart Series, the Carolina Grand Prix, and then that.
And by we, you mean
when
you.
I say we, I mean the site, the website.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody.
we're a we. Us.
Dude, we're a we. Us.
A family. a degenerate family.
We're dysfunctional, that's for sure. That's for sure. So you also we cranked out race reports for the Rockfest.
Yep.
In Biloxi. We had the coverage of the Cup Karts North America event at MRP, like you said, right?
We did that. We did a race report on Quincy Grand Prix, race report with the Kalo Cup, also the recent Route 66 race that they had up at Badger Kart Club as well too.
That's right. I put together a morning coffee as well, one of my columns, just kind of giving a shout out to my good friend Keith Freber. If you haven't read that, have a look on the website for that under my morning coffee section. Of course, Keith being inducted alongside Terry Trader into the WK Hall of Fame. And then again, just a new WK Hall of Famer, right, Dave? For road racing.
Yeah. During the WK Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge, Robbie Harper, longtime road racer, director, trustee, racer.
Right. Everything.
Yeah, basically, I don't think the only thing he hasn't done, he might have done some hand scoring back in the day, but I don't think he's ever scored a race on the Orbitz software. So I think that's the last little bit. He's probably covered scales, he flagged a corner, he's done everything.
I have no doubts. That's right. He's probably announced some races too, I would expect.
But he was a little upset that Freber beat him to the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Competition. You know what? Robbie's pretty competitive. I understand
He's
that.
very competitive.
Driver of the month, David. We sat down and picked the driver of the month, and it was interesting. For the month of May, Ryan Norberg said, that was one of the things that he'd been just trying to get. And everything he's done in 3 times a champion in the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, 3 straight years, he had never won driver of the month.
But he had never had a weekend that he had in Utah. So I think it was really fitting that, we saved it for this type of event, because again, this solidified himself in the championship lead. Now going into the Summer Nationals with a solid lead to what he could possibly do is clinch his 4th straight championship.
That's unbelievable. He was able to pull that out. That would be absolutely unbelievable. Also, David, of course, cranking out more EKN editorial. He sat down and pulled out the spreadsheet again, which takes so much time for the updated EKN driver rankings powered by Bell Racing USA. If you want to have a look at the most recent driver rankings, one of the drop-down menus on EKN, you can have a look at the current rankings. David, we also had a new another one. Let's just put it this way. It's you and I do the majority of the writing. And by that, I mean you do majority of the writing. But got a new writer working for us as well. And it's cool to get a couple of new, another faces on the grid.
Yeah, he started his first column, I guess, or however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, Faces of the Grid with
interviews.
Brandon Jarzik. Interview, yeah, basically an interview. And then Blake Hunt now published his recent one with Gary Carlton. Again, probably the top karter in the 2000s, not only here in the U.S., but among the top ones in Europe as well during that time as well, especially over the last 5 years before he came back home. Again, racing in Europe and among the top drivers. So good to see, because again, it's good. We know Gary, you've known Gary even longer than I've known Gary. it's great to get that viewpoint of somebody who doesn't really know Gary, to kind of go back and forth with him and see what kind of answers and questions he can provide.
Yeah. Yeah. Fresh approach, right?
Exactly.
So,
You know,
and again, hey, listen, kudos to Blake. Got a hold of you, said I want to write some articles. What do you guys think? And yeah, we've had a couple now. Hopefully we'll get some more from Blake, because they did a great job with the two that he's done.
Yeah.
Like as you said, with Brandon.
I told him to get me one this week, but he's kind of slacking. So we'll see if we can get one next week.
What?
I know.
Maybe he needs to do one on David Cole after he gets beat by Rob Howden.
Nobody wants to hear that.
That's true. Let's jump into a little bit of our EKN podcast reviews, David. Obviously, some of the recent shows that we've been able to get put into podcast form. Want to fill people in?
Well, again, we had our This Week in Karting episode 10 back in May 30th. That's available for download. Our industry insiders, including Terry Trader of Quincy Grand Prix, Kevin Williams of WK before we had the Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge, and then most recently Mike Burrell with USAC Karting, talking about the upcoming battle at the Brickyard that we'll be heading to. And then,
yeah, we talked a bit about the Elkhart Grand Prix as well.
Mm-hmm, yep. So a lot of information in those 3 episodes. Also, you were able to record the latest Hot Seat episode 4 with Billy Musgrave and his move over to Croc Promotion USA.
Yeah. It's a good interview. Really good interview. And remember, folks, obviously on the EKN Radio Network is where you hear all of our content first, streaming 24/7, but it's not on demand. It's like a radio station, as we say. So it's on. You got to figure out the schedule. We usually play them back to back. So if you miss the start, you'll pick it up if you keep listening. But after that, about a weekend, David then goes and turns everything into actual, downloadable podcasts that you can get. So make sure you follow us or subscribe on iTunes or Google Play. You can also go through Podbean and I believe Spotify to be able to get all our content and more coming up this week, David. I know you got a couple more podcasts that you're prepping, correct?
Yeah, when you hear this, you should be able to download the Insider with Greg Dignas of Margay, also the debriefs from the United States Pro Kart Series and the WKA race at Charlotte.
Again, coming up on the EKN Radio Network as well, upcoming shows. David and I, as I said, I leave actually tomorrow morning, heading to Indianapolis for the USAC Karting Battle at the Brickyard. We'll get home on Monday. We'll record our debrief of the event on Tuesday, so that's going to be coming. I actually have an interview coming with Roger Ruthart from the Rock Island Grand Prix, more of a written Q&A. After that, once we get a little closer into July, I'll make sure we do a full audio interview with Roger to talk more about how Rock Island's going to celebrate their 25th anniversary. And then what else we got, David? Oh, yeah, we're still working on a roundtable discussion. I've got an idea. I was actually talking to a couple of guys, a couple cool ideas. We're going to have our first roundtable discussion, not this week coming up, but the week afterwards. And I got a good topic. I'm not going to bring it up right now, but you and I are going to, we'll set that up. Sound good?
Sounds great. Don't tell me the topic either. I like to be surprised.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap up this edition of This Week in Karting. Here's what's coming on ekartingnews.com. It's first and foremost, David Cole and I are going racing. We talked about it. Battle at the Brickyard. Couple of ideally equally prepared 206 Briggs 206 powered Comet Eagle chassis. I'm gonna hook up with Gary Lawson. I'm gonna try to go to the front.
I'm sorry to say Gary Lawson's not racing Masters, so you're not going to be able to.
That's right.
I might as well kill that while I can right now. So just forget about that. So you're really going to have to sit there Friday morning and try and find a new dance partner because you're not.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to end up having to work together. That's what's going to happen.
Oh,
right?
I know.
Dude, it's going to happen. We're going to end up having to work together, and then I'll punch you off in the last
Well,
corner.
somebody's going to have to bail the other one out. Now, it's probably going to be me having to bail you out because you can't get off the line or something like that. You know,
listen, dude,
all this weight you claim to have lost is probably going to be put back on over the next 2 days.
That's a possibility, too. We'll see. Couple of EKN Trackside Live events coming up as well. So after the Brickyard, I go to Toronto for the IndyCar race. Then I fly straight to Amarillo, as I had said before, July 19th, 2021 for the Texas Pro Kart Challenge event. It'll be EKN Trackside Live. I'll do the full coverage there, play-by-play. Mark French and I are going to be on the grill Friday night. If you've got that weekend off, July 19, 2021, trust me, come to Amarillo, Texas. Awesome racetrack. The Texas PKC family puts on an awesome show, great hospitality. Come out and have some fun with us. We'd love to have you there. Again, Mark and I grilling. I'm racing in 206 Masters, so I challenge anybody in 206 Masters in the area. Come out and see if you can't beat me. Hopefully I won't be beaten too bad by David Cole at the Brickyard. So
I'll give anybody pointers after the Brickyard on how to do that, because it's a pretty flat out track looking at, Amarillo. It's pretty wide open.
Ooh, there's some tighter corners though, believe it or not. You'll be surprised. There's a couple of tight corners. Yeah, there are some tighter corners there.
But as you said, there's going to be a lot of people coming there from California, Colorado, Utah. So it's going to be and I'm going to guess that guys are from Florida and guys who race rock are gonna head up there to kind of get a taste of it too.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, if you want to get yourself set up for the Rock Fest event. David, let's cap this thing off. You got one race at the end of July. You're going to go back with the United States Pro Kart Series finale.
Yep, we're going to close things out at Newcastle Motorsports Park, which will be my first of 3 visits there this year, which is surprisingly only in July. Typically, I'm there earlier, but it'll be good to be back to my second home.
You know what? I haven't been to a USPKS race yet because you're the one that always goes to those. But I actually just dropped a text message to Mark Coates after the last race they had because, what he's done, getting down to those 3 events, well spaced in terms of timing, great racetracks. Man, that series is just rock solid right now.
Well, it's good competition, good teams that are there. The staff he has there in place just gets stuff done and does it right. And, that's what people want when they're spending this kind of money to go racing. They want to make sure they know what they're getting when they get there, and there's no surprises when you go to a USPKS event.
You'll be there July 26th, 27th, 28th. It'll be just about a week after I'm at Texas Pro Kart Challenge in Amarillo. So a couple of more EKN Trackside Live events. You can, of course, hear that through the ekartingnews.com/live page. Full play-by-play. Of course, I'll be on the mic for the Texas Pro Kart Challenge event, just not for the 206 Masters class. I'll pass the mic to somebody else. And then, of course, for USPKS, Tim Cohen will be joining David Cole trackside at Newcastle. Dude, that's it. What?
You better figure out who's going to announce.
I know. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. You know what? We'll put it up for raffle. See who wants to jump on the microphone.
It's too bad you and Jeffrey's not in the United States anymore. He's off traveling the world and focused on Asia a little bit right now, but he'd be a great one to have announce. Who
keeps asking us all the time is Wesley Boswell. He always wants to get on the mic with us.
Yeah, he's in California. That doesn't count.
I don't know. Well, you know what? Yeah. Hey, listen, maybe Mark French will grab Mark French told me he was going to race against me. That was the whole thing. When we were at the last race, he's like, yeah, I'll race for sure. We'll have a blast. I think he's trying to pussy out of it, to be honest. I think he's trying to get out of it right now.
Well, that's what they do in Texas.
He's pulling the race director card. He's the race director. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, you haven't pulled that card out, but if you could, you would.
No, I want to go driving. I'm excited. Hey, I get a chance to drive with Alan Rudolph. That looks awesome. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. All right, David, we're done. Final thoughts?
This week,
Springer.
this month in karting. Enjoy
it. Yeah, this week. Yeah, this month in karting. Yeah,
we're going to try and do 1 in 2 weeks again.
I think every 2 weeks is the best way.
Every 2 weeks will be close, so at least it'll be a week's worth of content. So that's still kind of goes with the title of this podcast.
Well, folks, thank you for joining This Week in Karting / This Month in Karting, or This 2 Weeks in Karting. We do appreciate it. Episode number 11, again, July the 2nd. For those of you heading to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we look forward to seeing you this coming weekend and any events coming down the future for the EKN Trackside Live program. David and I both trying to get behind the wheel more here in 2019. I didn't drive anything in 2018, which sucked. I've got 1 race already in the books. Then the next, I think, potentially 5 or 6 races this year. This makes me pretty happy. That's solid. Folks, on behalf of David Cole, thank you so much for joining us. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.